Welcome to the RPGamer review of Nioh 3. This is written by Yoru, read by Spearumbress, and the video is edited by Efrog. Having seen RD's success and the action RPG landscape, the most recent title by Team Ninja aimed to drastically expand the scope of the Nioh series, featuring an open world and foregoing the more linear, mission-based structure the series has been known for. In doing so, there are some successes, but a good handful of failures too. Nioh's hallmark aspect, its intense and hardcore combat, is still present, with incredible customization and plenty of engaging thrills along the way, albeit watered down from the previous entry, largely due to the open world aspect and recycled asset. Nioh 3 is defined by its open world, which serve its purpose well but never come off as anything more than fine, occasionally working against the game's other elements, which mostly range from mediocre to good. With Nioh 2 serving as a prequel to its predecessor Nioh, Nioh 3 followed the event of both previous titles taking place in 1622. Nioh 3 is set at the dawn of Japan Tokugawa dynasty, with players taking command of Tokugawa Takeshio, the fictional child of Tokugawa Ieyasu. Being a player-created character, Takeshio only real defining quality is being quite artsy and initially non-combat oriented, but it nevertheless set to be the coronated as shogun. Ieyasu faithful retainer take the soon-to-be shogun to begin training, but the castle is suddenly attacked by armies of yokai, whose players quickly find out are led by Takeshio's envious younger brother Tokugawa Kunimatsu. With an era of peaceful ushered in by Ieyasu wholly destroyed, the ill-prepared Takeshio is forced to confront their brother. But before being killed in a loop-side duel, they are transported to the past by their guardian spirit, Kusanagi. Nioh 3 plot effectively convey its overarching themes and ideas. One of its core concepts concerning spirit stones, shining yellow stones that are born of powerful emotion and grant their owner's wishes, regardless of morality, often leading to abuse by powerful warlords. A particular form of this crucinet begins appearing across time in the various periods players travel to, and it can grant immortality should the user consume normal yellow spirit stones. Seeing the power of crucinet is genuinely fascinating, whether it's driving powerful daimyos like the Lion Kais, Takeda Shigen, to even greater heights of barbarities and madness, or manifesting into horrific city-consuming hellscape known as the Crucible. Despite its unfortunately brevity and the main plot, the crucinet-fueled jealousy of Kunimatsu stand out as a thematic compelling extension of this plot device. Unfortunately, Nioh 3 suffered greatly for overextension at its span multiple scattered time periods. Japanese history is extraordinarily dense and complex, and whereas Nioh and Nioh 2 fixated on briefer periods, the scattershot approach of Nioh 3 only increases confusion and prevents players from becoming attached to the character. As the story progresses, Takeshio feels like an oddly jarring interloper rather than an organic participant in its events, leaving their desire to rid the world of the crucinet and enmity toward Kunimatsu as their only real characterization. This serves as a good enough stimulus to drive the plot, but Nioh 3's fleeting approach to so many characters and political complexities with its strangely short list of main missions significantly damper its potential, especially when the featureless and largely silent Takeshi Yo has no real input in the surrounding events. That said, the real appeal and draw of Nioh 3 is its riveting combat, which retains the core samurai mechanics from previous Nioh titles while also adding the new ninja form. In samurai form, players have 3 core stances, with an appreciable variety of moveset by attacking, guarding, and managing ki stamina. Players can fill Takeshio's art proficiencies meter, allowing them to unleash powerful moves known as martial arts. On the other hand, ninja form focuses primarily on evasiveness and is more powerful when attacking from the back. It also gives player access to ninjutsu skill which include throwing weapons, evasive maneuvers, bombs, and magic. Players can seamlessly switch between forms at any time, which is the primary way to perform burst counters that quickly cancel and parry powerful enemies' attacks with proper timing. While the samurai form and its 3 stances remain foundationally excellent, the addition of art proficiency does a fantastic job as rewarding and encouraging proper guard deflects and aggressive play. The anticipation of building the meter and subsequent rush of successful unleashing long martial art combos is an insane adrenaline rush. Though the game nicely balances this, as player must utilize timely ki pulses to regenerate their ki to reap this form's full potential, or risk being left defenseless afterward. The ninja form performed amazingly well too, drastically increasing the pace and intensity of combat while also maneuvering with snappy, tight precision. Both forms have access to 6 different weapon types, and not only do the forms synthesize well with each other, they also mesh nicely with other combat staples from the series. Whether it's the Omyo magic mechanic that allow use of yokai abilities, the deeply layered equipment system, form-specific kill, guardian spirits, or stat allocation, Nioh 3 gives player a dizzying amount of customization option and almost no action RPG better reward mastery and effective utilization of its overlapping system. Unfortunately, Nioh 3 implementation of combat is slightly held back by a lack of new enemies and aspect of its open world. There are an astonishingly large number of enemies and bosses from prior Nioh titles scattered throughout the world. While new players won't notice, series veterans may be disappointed and finding many of the same bosses and enemies with multiple large maps to explore. Even with the entire roster of Nioh and Nioh 2 yokais and this game unique bosses, there are still multiple instances of repeat yokai like Kamitachi across them all, which form part of the concern about the larger implementation of its open world. While Nioh 3's combat remains great despite the limited enemy variety throughout the various periods, interactive elements sadly don't fare as well. Its open world at its good point, it successfully serves as a driving force behind how players grow stronger and gives players plenty to do. Finding skill book, fighting powerful enemies, purifying critical, capturing enemy base, helping stray Kodama back homes, or shooting Shijiko out of the sky with the bow to receive bonuses. All these activities and general exploration directly empower Teixeira and various capacities. This is just one of the neat way Nioh 3 rewards exploration, with it being just one of the many categories that contribute to earning titles, which are various records of gameplay that, when achieved, earn points that can be spent to increase various stats, allowing players to constantly get stronger. Unfortunately, Nioh 3 Open World also has issues, each world thoroughly devastated by the Crucible, which is initially interesting but quickly wear thin and become repetitive, as thus having the same activity across succeeding time periods. Many of the side quests are particularly interesting either, with many being given by faceless floating apparitions that don't have much personality and already thinly populated rune world, and they ultimately serve as window dressing to fill space rather than as memorable stories. When players reach the final area, there isn't much new aside from the special master enemies, each of which specialize in a specific weapon type and are a genuine joy to find, discover, and fight. But that gets to the root of the problem with Nioh 3, which is that its best element is fighting, not exploring, and the latter drastically overstay its welcome. Visually, Nioh 3 struggles to fully express itself, while the actual world design with its rune battlefield, Japanese landscape, and crucible infected zone is outstanding. The display and performance hold back its artistic intent. The yokai, armor, weapon, and location design are fantastic, and the game bursts with effective use of color, animation, and effects. However, on a base PlayStation 5, texture sometimes loads slowly, and simple fast camera rotation can catch models before their texture fully render. In addition, the mid-game suffer from persistent frame rate issues, jitters, and slutters, at times even becoming a nuisance in combat. Other performance issues include a handful of crashes and being unable to interact with objects until the game is reloaded. The game visual direction is gorgeous at times, with some story cutscenes showing some real flair, so it's a shame that the performance doesn't allow the world to shine as it should. Nioh 3's strong sound come via an outstanding soundtrack and solid to good English voice acting. The game score effectively incorporates Japanese instruments throughout, with quieter exploratory moments that drone smoothly or ominously using the show. The battle, especially the bosses, use taiko with sweeping, intense string section, rumbling, blaring brass, and even some throaty woodwinds to create a bizarre, booming, and demonically intense sense of urgency that raises the stake and creates the sky-high excitement Nioh is known for. The English voice acting is quite good for the main characters, with Kunimatsu standing out as a particularly venomous and his limited screen time. Though, if players are looking for a more immersive experience, the Japanese voice acting is outstanding. As a final note, the vocalization and sound of the yokai are as vicious and enthralling as ever. All in all, Nioh 3 feels weighted down by its own scope. There's a lot of space and not quite enough content to fill it all adequately. If Nioh as a series was going to move toward an open world, there's definitely could have been a better balance between scope and content. This is a game that could have benefited had it traded at least one of the time period for more unique yokai and more missions. If it had to be this big, the performance issues and eventual repetition indicate it needed a bit more heat and time in the crucible. That said, it does maintain ferocious, ruthless, fast-paced action combat punctuated by blood-pumping composition and has a generally competent story and world built around it. Just don't expect it to excel in every dimension. RPGamer give Nioh 3 3.5 out of 5. For more detail, hit up the link in the description below. For more video content, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitch for daily stream of your favorite RPGs. Join on the discussion at rpgamer.com on Discord. And for the latest and RPG news, head over to rpgamer.com.